So let's get started with the first question. So my very first question to you is, how did you get started in robotics?
Almost by chance, because I started the university in Italy. I'm Italian. I started my university in Siena about math and computer science. I always been very interested in math and algorithms. So after my first degree, I moved to Pisa for a master, a 2 years master, uh, where I did more AI and machine learning. And during this period, I was awarded a scholarship to go to Japan for a 1 year internship in a company. And during this year, I worked on speech synthesis for robotics. So for an agent that was supposed to be a secretary of sort, a service robot, and the robot had a bunch of very sensitive microphones on the head, so could understand the direction of the voice, turn towards the person asking the question and answer. And I was on the speech synthesis, so creating voice out of text, and that was my master thesis as well. So during my let's say my education, I had the opportunity to work in a research project during my bachelor thesis and my master thesis. I had the opportunity to work in R&D department at the Hitachi Central Research Lab, and that was very interesting for me. The fact of working on new challenges every time, not repeating yourself on a normal coding job, but the fact that you have to involve problem solving skills, trying to come out with a new solution, possibly a novel solution that the community hasn't seen. So that made me decide to go for a PhD. And to be honest, robotics was not part of my strong skills. I didn't do really a lot of robotics, just few introduction classes during my master. But I start sending emails. I found this project here at University of Birmingham with the professor Jeremy Wyatt, who was leading the Intelligent Robotic Lab, and he was really interested in apply AI and machine learning to robotic applications. Now, the robotic application he was interested at the time was manipulation, and to be honest, I had no idea about. I had no knowledge about manipulation per se, but I found the task, the aim of the project very interesting, and I already knew a couple of models that he wanted to apply on this project. And the PhD is also part of your education, so you have to learn. It was really open in even if I didn't not have any experience, he was happy for me to start. So um, I started the PhD, and there I realized that robotics is great. It's actually a nice field. It's machine learning is well, my specialization is machine learning and AI. However, robotics is a wider field, if I
Okay.
can say, because robotics includes you know, the robot. So you have the machine part. You have to build the robot. You have to code the driver for the robot. There is the perception part where you need to try to understand what's going on around the robot in order to make decision. Then there is the making decision part. There is the action part where you
Okay.
have to define the movement of the robot or the implementation of the decision in the robot. And this these actions will change the world somehow, or the perspective of the world from the robot. And we also need to take into consideration, if I needed to reach a goal, to split my sequence of actions in a set of actions that will be executed subsequently. And then that means you need to think ahead. You need to imagine how the world changes when you do an action, and if these changes will lead you to the goal that you are targeting, right? So for me, for my personality, I'm a guy that tends to get bored very easily. So if I do the same job over and over, in get frustrating. Robotics allows me to move from one side to another. Like you're not an expert in all of these fields, right?
Yeah.
But you need to know a bit of everything. And when you are a PhD student, so you are basically the last wheel of the of the team. You need to do everything mostly by yourself, right?
Uh-huh.
So you jump to stay in the lab writing code, testing the code for the controller, and then you move to your office reading papers, developing mathematical models, and then implementing a high level code for making decision, and then go back to the robot testing again. So there is a lot of moving around and different kind of jobs that are combined, and I like that because it gives me the opportunity to go back to the lab with the you know happy to be in the lab after 3 weeks, a month you get sick of staying in the lab, but that's time where you have actually to move back to the office or whatever to do something else. And it's also nice that you build something and you see the robot doing things. So it's when it works, it's really exciting. Unfortunately, not always works, but